such as renaming the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America, and eliminating Indigenous Peoples Day in favor only of Columbus Day. However, I would be in favor of renaming Mother's Day Mothering Day. I say this because whether we have physically given birth to babies or not, we all have a responsibility to mother. I am using this word as a verb. It is a holy activity that we can all be engaged in. Mothering is a part of our calling as followers of Christ. As a verb, the word mother means giving birth to and or nurturing something. All of us have the ability to give birth to and nurture things that make this world more peaceful, loving, and just. For example, we can give birth to and nurture movements for social justice, new ideas, creative projects, as well as take care of the people and pets in our circle of influence. We can all do that. Because today is Mother's Day, I asked Father Jamie if I could preach the homily. This is one of my very favorite holidays of the year. You can ask my husband. I am a little bit of a fanatic about holidays. I love to be with family, cook food, and even maybe receive the occasional gift. Holidays have a fun side, but most of them also have a serious side. Mother's Day, for example, stems from the efforts of a woman named Anna Jarvis, who held a memorial service for her mother in 1907. Her mother had organized Mother's Work Days to improve sanitation and public health, and later Mother's Friendship Day to promote reconciliation after the Civil War. Today we carry on that tradition of honoring people who have worked to make the world a better place to live. So, how can we mother the world? One of the tools we have at our disposal is our voice. I can understand why Jesus said, "My sheep hear my voice." As the Good Shepherd, Jesus practiced his ministry in mothering mode. He saw his followers, his sheep, as his children, and it was his responsibility to protect and nourish them. Of course, his mothering had a very important purpose: to bring his children to eternal life. Jesus said he is doing this for the Father, which was his way of referring to God. Here's a good question that I ask myself. If we see God in a fathering role, does this mean we are to see Jesus in a mothering role? I had to pause for a moment and reread Jesus' words. The Father and I are one. Because that reminds me of what parents often say to their kids when they are on the same page and when they're working as a team. I can just remember my mom saying to me, "Your father and I agree that you shouldn't go to that party. Your father and I are one voice." My sheep hear my voice, Jesus said. Jesus knows that our voices are the most powerful tools we have for the purposes of mothering. And again, all of us have mothering responsibility. We all have the responsibility to use our voices for peace and justice, moral instruction and moral support, encouragement, and sometimes constructive criticism, and nurturing and compassion, wisdom and love. Another reason why I wanted to preach the the homily today is because my priestly vows have given me the title of Mother Annie. People have been referring to me in this way for the last 10 years. I was ordained on May 15, 2015 to be exact. Another story for another day. I am mother in the same way that a male priest is father. As you know, the Catholic Church refers to its male priests as father and should allow women to be priests and refer to them as mother, because a priest's role is to nurture, to guide, and to instruct its parishioners. The role of a priest is to be a shepherd to his or her flock. This is only possible because the priest has an important voice. My voice might be soft, but I know I'm being heard. I love this old song by Helen Reddy, a song that was called I'm Woman, Hear Me Roar, because even that song was written in 1972, so when I kind of calculated it, it was a time when women's voices were being heard. And in the refrain of that song, Helen Reddy sings, I'm strong, I'm invincible, I am woman. And now, 53 years later, and possibly maybe the same age as maybe Father Jamie, not sure, but maybe, the female voice is even stronger and more invincible. But even stronger than a woman's voice is a mothering voice. That is the voice of someone who is out there giving birth to and nurturing things that make the world a better place to live. This is the part that roars, because Jesus was a man. We don't think of him as a mothering figure. Of course, we all know that in Catholic doctrine, we tend to leave that role to the Blessed Mother Mary. But I suggest to you that Jesus also had this mothering voice, a gentle and guiding, calming and correcting voice. We continue to hear his voice today because he speaks through all of us with words of wisdom, enlightenment, redemption, and love. On this Mother's Day, or rather Mothering Day, may we all find a way to echo his words of grace. May our voices roar enough to cut through the deafening noise of the world's hatred and violence at this time. May we all find our mothering